Okay, let's dive into this. We often look at Japan and we see this incredible, almost superhuman level of discipline and resilience. It's a country that just seems to defy the odds, time and time again. But how? What's really the secret behind that national character? I mean, really think about it. This is a nation that has been through nuclear bombs, devastating economic collapses, and just constant natural disasters. And yet, it's still one of the world's top economies, with some of the longest living, healthiest people on the entire planet. Now, that's not a coincidence. It's a puzzle.
And just to put that adversity into perspective, look at this number. That's how many earthquakes Japan experiences on average every single year. Can you imagine living with that constant underlying threat? So how do they do it? How do they keep such a sense of calm and order?
Well, the answer isn't luck, and it's definitely not something they're just born with. It's an unbreakable mindset, a kind of warrior spirit that's been carefully cultivated through a set of powerful, ancient philosophies. And these are the principles that can turn an ordinary person into someone with extraordinary discipline. And today, we're going to unpack them.
So, we're going to start with the foundation, the philosophies that build your internal strength. This is all about forging your inner warrior before you even think about taking on the world.
The first one is Shugyo. You've probably seen pictures of monks meditating under freezing waterfalls or pushing their bodies to these extreme limits. While that isn't torture, it's a deliberate practice of embracing discomfort. The philosophy is actually pretty simple. Comfort makes you weak, but growth only comes from pushing your limits. For them, life itself is the training ground. It's the dojo. And next up is Gaman. This is that quiet strength you see on the face of disaster. It's the ability to endure hardship, not by bottling it all up, but with this deep sense of inner peace and dignity. It teaches you that struggle is just a part of life, and your job isn't to create drama, but to stand strong.
Then there's Kaizen. This is the idea of continuous improvement, of getting just 1% better every single day. The real power is in its simplicity. Toyota famously used this on their assembly lines, saving just a few seconds on one tiny task. When you multiply that over millions of cars, it leads to thousands of hours saved.
And this is where the power of Kaizen gets really mind-blowing. That tiny 1% daily improvement, it doesn't just add up, it compounds. Over a single year, that commitment to getting just a little bit better every day makes you a staggering 37 times better. That's the explosive power of consistent small efforts.
Okay, so we've got our internal foundation set. Now let's look at how these principles are applied on the outside, in the pursuit of mastery in your work and your craft.
This is Kodawari, and it's a relentless pursuit of perfection. You see it absolutely everywhere in Japan, from slippers placed in a perfect line to the way sushi chefs meticulously care for their tools. It's the reason ramen, which actually came from China, was perfected in Japan. It's this deep personal commitment to excellence in every last detail.
And this is the most crucial point about Kodawari. It's not a performance, it's an internal code. The standard of excellence doesn't just drop because no one is looking. It's about personal integrity and the pride you take in your own work.
Then we have Shoshin, or the beginner's mind. In Japan, even the highest level black belt masters still practice the most basic movements over and over and over. They know that the moment you think you're an expert, the moment you believe you know it all, is the exact moment your growth comes to a screeching halt. This brings us to a really fundamental question, one that sits right at the core of a disciplined life. What is your reason for waking up in the morning? This is the whole concept of Ikigai. Ikigai is your purpose, and you find it at the intersection of these four things: what you love, what you're good at, what the world needs, and what you can be paid for. Think of Dr. Shigeki Hinohara, who worked tirelessly as a physician well into his old age. For him, helping people wasn't just a job, it was his Ikigai, the compass that gave all his discipline a direction. All right, now let's zoom out to the philosophies that shape an entire outlook on life, the ones that guide your perspective on everything from flaws and failure to health and honesty. This is kintsugi. When a piece of pottery breaks, it's not thrown away. No, it's repaired with gold, making the cracks a celebrated part of its history. And the philosophy here is profound. Your flaws, your scars, your past failures, they aren't things you should be hiding. They are what make you unique, valuable, and strong. And this perfectly illustrates the sakura, or the cherry blossom mindset. You see, these beautiful flowers only bloom after they've endured a harsh winter. So what's the lesson? Your struggles, your failures, your own harsh winters, they aren't there to break you. They are there to prepare you for your bloom.
And these philosophies, they have real, tangible results. This is hara hachibu in action, the principle of eating in moderation. By focusing on fresh foods and just not overeating from childhood, Japan maintains one of the lowest obesity rates in the world, around 4%. It's a discipline that's woven into daily life.
And finally, there's the concept of kami. It's the belief that a higher power, or the universe itself, is always observing your actions. This fosters an incredibly high-trust society where lost wallets get returned and honesty is just the default. It's the idea that your integrity matters, even when no one else is around.
So we've covered these powerful, ancient ideas. But the real question is, how do you make them your own? How do you forge your own path to discipline?
Well, here's your toolkit. You can start today. Embrace discomfort, like in Shugyo. Relentlessly perfect the details with Kodawari. Improve by just 1% every day with Kaizen. Find your purpose, your Ikigai, and celebrate your imperfections through the lens of Kintsugi. This is how you build an unbreakable mind.
So, I'll leave you with this. These philosophies teach us that life isn't something that just happens to you. It's a training ground. It's your dojo. The only question left is, how are you going to train today?